आय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Swami, we are continuing Vahini Swadhyaya. Swami, today we are going to discuss Kathopanishad from Upanishad Vahini. Swami, please be with us. Please speak through us. Please listen through us. Our humble salutations at your lotus feet, Swami. Sairam. Sairam, brothers and sisters, thank you very much for joining the Vahini Swadhyaya Kathopanishad session. We will start the session with the Shanti mantra, and we will go ahead with the discussion on the topic Kathopanishad. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He makes us enjoy our sessions together. May we both strive together. May our studies be bright and brilliant. May there be no misunderstanding between us. Let there be peace outside and within. Om, peace, peace, peace. Sairam. Sairam, let us start the session. Before we start let's start with the Swami's poem. This particular poem Swami has told many times. Having studied Brahma Vidya, there are many who preach at length, but we cannot find even a single hero who practices. Satyamaina Mata, Sai Mata. Sai's words are truth. The subject of this particular poem is very clear. Particularly for this particular Upanishad, we need to be very attention. At the same time, we need to be more going ahead in the learning and also the practicing part. So Swami giving very clear instruction in his Madhyam. Let's start practices. So the practice, let's see how our practice is going on, and we will touch by this poem later part of the sessions also. Sairam. We will go ahead with the Kathopanishad. Prior to this starting the session, we will go ahead in this session, Kathopanishad, in 3 sessions. If required, we will go for the 4th session. Otherwise, we will complete in 3 sessions. The first two, the first chapter we will discuss today, and then we will discuss about the third boon, and the other chapters we will discuss in the next sessions. Coming to the Kathopanishad, Swami told very clearly this Kathopanishad belongs to Katha Shaka, which is part of the Krishna Yajurveda. Since it is related to Katha Shaka, it is called as Kathopanishad. This Upanishad, in many ways, the fundamental subjects are the Pranava Swarupa, auspicious activities like Shreyas and Preyas, and the knowledge of Brahman. This will teach the main subjects, but it teaches in the form of the Lord Yamadharmaraja and Nachiketa. And it talks about more about the depth and the journey of Atma and Atmic Prime, meaning Atma Tattva, and we also discuss about Paramatma Tattva. So both how it is integrated each other also we can discuss in Kathopanishad. Why in this Kathopanishad, the various studies went through on Kathopanishad. One of the favorite Upanishad for many religions, they were all, the theologist has done various studies on these particular Upanishads, because this Upanishad talk about Atma and Atma Tattva. So let's, in this Upanishad, the Mahavakya, Anoraniyam Mahato Mahiyam, we are all know this particular Mahavakya Swami has explained many times, and Swami utilized in his discourses many times. He used this word Anoraniyam Mahato Mahiyam. It's very clearly. So we will discuss in the second session during this about this Mahavakya. So it has 2 chapters, overall 119 verses. We can call 119 mantras. Chapter 1 deal with 2 worldlies. In each worldly, altogether it is 71 verses, and chapter 2, 48 verses. So this is about Kathopanishad introduction. Let us go to the discussion of the story. Whole Kathopanishad is a story between the Yagnashravas, Nachiketa, and Yama. So this story is more on the discussion between the Nachiketa and Yama. Now let us see what is Nachiketa, why he need to discuss with Yama. So the Yagnashravas, he also called Gautama, one of the Saptarshis, very strict ritualistic. I'm giving one more update. The topic which we are going to discuss, which is in the box, which is in the box is from the extracts from the Swami's discourses, which is not in the box is the update from Swami from Kathopanishad. It's an extract from the Kathopanishad book, basically, from the Upanishad Vahini book, Kathopanishad chapter. So this is the difference, basically. So let's go to the story. The Yagnashravas, also known as Gautama, one of the Saptarshi, who want to perform a Vishwajit Yagna. So he started, so he is performing the Vishwajit Yagna. As part of Vishwajit Yagna, he must, that's part of Vishwajit Yagna. This is the tradition, or we can call it is the custom, that you have to release all your bondings, basically the assets and all this. So you will be giving the all your assets as a gifts, or giving your belongings as a gifts to the participants and also to the priests of the yagna. So the Vishwajit Yagna will be started by, Yagnashravas will started the Vishwajit Yagna. If we remember, around 4 years back, we discussed in Prashnottara Vahini, we discussed about the same Yagna, Vishwajit Yagna. This is the extract I've picked up from the Prashnottara Vahini. We have discussed about 14 lokas. In that, Urtva lokas, particularly the Saptalokas, Urtva Saptalokas, when we were discussing about, we discussed about this Yagna, Vishwajit Yagna. Mahabali, the grandson of Prahlada, will be doing the Vishwajit Yajna. So Swami come as a Vamana avatar, and Swami asks, so looking at the beautiful boy, Mahabali asks what you want, basically. So now I'm just reminding the custom, basically, the custom of the Vishwajit Yajna. Though Shukracharya want to stop giving a boon, I mean, giving the offering from Bali, he want to stop Bali, Mahabali, but Mahabali will basically remind him saying that this yagna where whoever asks, I have to give. This is the custom. I have to give. There is no alternative. So he will he will not obey the Guru's order also, and he will go ahead and give the offering to Lord Vamana. During that time, Swami, he will show his magnanimous, like whole Vishwa will come under him. He will show that, and then he will bless Bali, Mahabali, according to, he will bless Mahabali of, as part of his avataric mission. We'll come back to the story. Vishwajit Yajna is doing by Yagnashravas. So as part of that Yajna, so he started giving offerings to all the as gifts or offerings to the participants and to the priests. But all these past the gifts, whatever he is giving as part of the yajna, are no longer able to eat grass. All the cows, he is giving cows as a offering to them and also as a gifts to them. But those cows are barren cows, which is like no longer able to eat grass or drink water and must less yield milk. So this process is continuing. The son Nachiketa, he has one son, that is Nachiketa, called Nachiketa, very elevated soul, watching a small boy, watching his father doing the sacrifice, it is Yagna, and then he is also watching what he is offering to the priests and also to the participants as part of the Yagna. Seeing this kind of whatever the cows he is giving, seeing that his virtuous and intelligent son realized that his father was in a great deal of sorrow because of these sinful gifts. Because it is nowhere useful to they are not useful to the receivers. Whoever is receiving or beneficiary, they are not, it's no longer used to be, no, they are not useful to them. So he is giving such kind of gifts. Now come to the topic, yagna. Swami, we discussed about yagna in various Upanishads, in the previous Upanishads. I'm just recalling the same thing, but in Swami's words, what is yagna? Swami has been given very clearly. Apart from the physical, by keeping all the bricks and then having the fire and then doing the yagna with the ghee and various with the various elements and with various chantings. Apart from that, what is yagna? I mean, doing that process and also our daily life, how that is yagna, Swami has explained. Yagna is a continuous process. Everyone who lives in the constant presence of God and does all acts as dedicated to God is engaged in yagna. Three processes go together in yagna. The yagna, dana, and tapas. Sacrifice, charity, and self-control. The usual belief is that yajnas will confer worldly prosperity and heavenly joy. That is what our understanding basically. But Swami is also saying that the emphasis must not be merely on ritual continuation, but unconditional surrender to God, who is invoked and pacified in these rituals. The emphasis must be not merely on ritual correctness, but unconditional surrender to God, who is invoked and pacified in these rituals. Swami giving very clear direction about what is yajna. You call it is the very focused learning, focused study of his Vahinis. If you took it is as a yajna, it should be a continuous process. You should be constant presence of Swami and does all acts dedicated to God and engaged in that yajna. See, if we put any Swamis, whatever Swami has told us to do very religiously, that particular activity, if you take it as a kind of, uh, you call it as, yajna, it is the next higher level of upasana where we will be for complete continuous process and who lives constant presence of Swami. So such a beautifully Swami explained how we are supposed to be when in our daily activities, as well as how we want to continue with the Swami, what we can call it as continuous integrated awareness. Swami is very clearly, it's my understanding, what no, it's yajna is a continuous integration, uh, you know, in continuous integration with Swami. So, uh, so the yajna part, Swami explained in this. I'm giving the references of the discourses also. So, very clearly, Swami has given this particular about yajna. In this, dana is very important. Swami is very clearly telling that dana and tapas. So, we are doing the ritualistic process. In that, the dana and tapas, basically the charity and self-control, is very important. Swami is very clearly told now in this. Nachiketa taught his father this superior outlook about yajna. Through in the Kathopanishad, very clearly Swami is telling that Nachiketa taught his father this superior outlook about yajna. How? We will go ahead in the next. So by looking at that, whatever the offerings are going on, Nachiketa went to his father, and this elevated, the small boy, the elevated soul thought that, okay, with these offerings, it will bring sorrow to his father's life. So he went to his father, want to save his father, and then he discussed and he will ask his father, Father, you are giving all the cows to the, so to whom you will give to me? I mean, you will give me, to whom you will offer, to whom you will offer me. So offering him as a gift. So he's keep asking, he's intended to whom to offer him as a gift. Father got so first time he asked, Father, when to whom you want to give me? And then second time, third time, when he's keep asking, then Agneshavas, Gautama, get into the frustration mode with the anger. Immediately he shouted, and I am giving you to the god of death. The moment he said, I'm giving you to the god of death. This is the word uttered by Yajnashravas with so much of anger. The anger management point of view, see, now the yajna is happening. That too, it is Vishwajit Yagna. Such a sacred and highest form of yagna is happening, where the Saptarshi, one of the Saptarshi of the Gautama, is doing that sacrifice. In that, these are all the we call it as mistakes are happening. So we will discuss much more in the second and third sessions. Thanks to Ganpati sir for reminding me two words, the Vachyartha and the Gudhartha. So we will focus on the Vachyartha. The Upanishad, every Upanishad has Vachyartha and Gudhartha. I mean, the Vachyartha is the one which is already written very much in the and whatever has been spoken. But the Gudhartha as an Atmic, I mean, as a soul, how we need to understand in our consciousness, how we have to take this, that comes under the Gudhartha. So we will discuss about the Gudhartha in the next frame. I mean, next sessions. We will go with the Vachyartha. So talk, understand the talk, whatever that we have taken. So when he is anger, the Gautama came into, no, Gautama is frustrated, and then with an anger, he is saying that I am giving you to the god of death. Swami is talking about anger, how it is, no, it is. Swami is very clearly is saying that anger, pride, and other passions reduce man to the level of lunatic and sometimes degrade him to the level of an animal. We are all aware of this. Anger, pride degrade us to the level of an animal. It is the cause for all the troubles, confusion, and turmoil is the fact that we have lost mastery over our senses. When we have lost mastery over our senses, or when we don't have a control over our senses, then only these three, I mean, this because of that, we will be, when we have lost mastery over the senses or control over the senses, then only these anger, pride, other, I mean, let's say anger, ego, and pride will be shown. Swami is again very clearly, saying that by leaving the senses unfettered and unregulated, we will not be able to discriminate properly. And we will not be able to think coolly. And we will not be able to think, no, we will not be able to be calmly and rationally. So each in the Upanishad, every aspect is giving so much of understanding. Though it is a story, giving a clarity, very much clarity will be coming up. So Swami very clearly telling that the cause for all the troubles, confusion, and turmoil is the fact that we have lost mastery over our senses by leaving the senses unfettered, unregulated. This is very notable point. The reason is we tend to connect with various things, of various worldly things. Various judgments will follow, after going through those particular, worldly things. So this will again creating a kind of, thoughts, and it is storing in our chitta. So cleansing of chitta is very uh, important for any sadhaka. So when we keep looking into different worldly things, indulging into that worldly things, then it is very difficult to come out of that. And at the same time, difficult to have a mastery over the senses. That is the reason Swami is very clearly telling that to get the control over the senses, come out of all these things. Or keep God in those activities. Keep Swami in those activities whenever you are, then it will be sanctified, and then your integration will continue. And Swami will tell it is a living death if one is obsessed by pride, ego, and anger. Swami, such a strong statement from Swami is it's a living death if one is obsessed by pride, ego, and anger. Why? Because Swami gave a beautiful story in the 1972 summer showers May about there are three fishes. These three fishes are there in a pond, and one of the fish understood that this water is going to be the pond is going to be deserted. Then it will ask, shall we move out of this pond? The other two fishes, one by one, both agree, both are having the same like-minded, and it will both two fishes say that no, nothing will going to happen. You will let us be here. Let us enjoy the pond. So both fishes will be more active. The other two fishes, and one day the pond will become dry, and three fishes will be died. It will be disappeared. So Swami is telling that pond is your deha. The three fishes are your sattva, raja, tamo guna. If when your pond is active, when it is already water, it is there, then make sure that you listen to the sattva, focus on sattva, and make sure that to realize your atma understanding and then get the sattva and then come out of this. While you are coming out of the body, you come out with the sattva guna. So Swami very clearly telling that this pond is like a body, three fishes are gunas. Listen to sattva. So if you listen to sattva, his sattva is integrated with Swami. When you are integrated with the Swami, then the pride, ego, and anger, obviously there is a less space for these three. And with your sadhana, it can be disappeared in your sadhana. So this is what Swami has told in Three Fishes story on my 1972 summer showers. So as part of the yajna, when we are doing this oral yajna, so Yajnashravas went into angry, and then he told to Nachiketa, I am giving to death. And Swami is very clearly giving the instruction saying that when you are as a sadhaka, ensure that you are not, you don't leave your senses unfettered and unregulated. Ensure that you get a mastery over the senses, or you get a control over your senses, so that you can be integrated with Swami. Let's go to the story again. So the Nachiketa, after listening to his words from his, after listening to his father's words, he started. Now he has been gifted to Yama. So he started walking towards the Yama, the Yama's abode, the abode of Yama. He will walk towards Yama and then to the abode of Yama. By the time he reaches the abode of Yama, he is not there. So at his doorsteps, he stays 3 days. I mean, 3 nights. He will be staying at 3 nights. He will be there without having food. No one is going to offer anything to him. So he is there at the door for 3 days. After 3 days, Yama will come back to his abode, and then he will see this boy. Looking at this boy, very elevated the soul, and he understood this guy boy is a very elevated, and he understood the story, the reason why he came here in this to the abode of Yama. So he understood. Then he said, no, he felt sorry, and he will say the delay and promised Nachiketa 3 boons. Why he felt too sorry? It is Swami very clearly explains, and is also in the Upanishad chapter 1, verse 7 and 8 will talk about it. Verily, like fire, a Brahmin guest enters a house. The householder pacifies him by giving him water and a seat. The Brahmin who dwells in a house fasting destroys that householder's hopes and expectations. Such a beautiful, learning from this state, these particular two verses 7 and 8. The Brahmin, the elevated soul, the learned personality who has a gnani, going through the various scriptures, having understanding about the God, have a connect with Swami. If he comes to home, he has to be treated as a Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. We discussed in the Taittiriya Upanishad. So when he has to be taken care like a God. So we have various Swami has various experiences has been shared by various devotees. So but Swami, what he's talking of, Swami taking about Atithi, how what Swami taught us about Atithi. Person who come on a Tithi, Swami very clearly told, person has come on a Tithi, is Atithi. Treat him as having been sent by God or as God Himself. This is a sacred rusk enjoined by the Vedas. Share your meal with whomsoever ask for food when you are about to eat, and give him shelter. Appease his hunger before you appease your own. It's a very clear direction from Swami on 15th February 1969 discourse. So a learned scholar over the Atithi has come, treat him as God Himself, and ask for food when you are about to eat it, and give him shelter, appease his hunger before you appease your own. If we recall our the olden days, I was reading the book Sri Satya Sai Anandadayi. The title itself will give the so much of emotion. The Sri Satya Sai Anandadayi book. In that, Kanama explains like how Swami used to receive devotees when he's when the when the devotee is crossing the Chitravati river. Swami used to stand and receives his devotees, while the devotees leaving Parthi. Swami used to come and give send off to them. The devotees will leave uh, without with so much of sorrow that they are going away from Swami, and so they don't have any interest, but they have to leave because of their daily activities for their service. So they have to go to their hometowns, but they leave. But here, Swami himself, always his life is his message. He receives, he gives send off. All those things had happened in the early days of uh, Pathamandiram days and the early days of Prashanti Nilayam. So he himself has given the as a example. Basically, his life is his message. So here also the topic is the same, where the elevated soul is starving for 3 days, 3 nights. So the Yama Dharmaraj, who is a Samavarti, uh, who saw him and understood the overall essence, and then he said, I'm going to give you the boons. 3 boons for every one night. I will give you 1 boon. 3 boons I will give it to you. Give you. Please ask. So that's how the story starts. Now come to the first boon. Nachiketa first asked when he returned to his native place and home at his behest, his father must welcome him gladly, bereft of all anger at his former impertinence and full of mental equanimity. Such a there's such a care basically. The as a son, he is doing his dharma for his parents. He has to take first boon. He is asking for his parents. The verse 10 and 11 will talk about the mantra 10 and 11 will talk about Nachiketa's first boon in the Kathopanishad. As per the words, O death, may Gautama, my father, be calm, cheerful, and free from anger toward me. May he recognize me and greet me when I shall have been sent home by you. This I choose as the first of the 3 boons. And Yama said, through my favor, your father will recognize you and be again toward you as he was before. After having seen you freed from the jaws of death, he will sleep peacefully at night and bear no anger against you. So the first boon is regarding to the parents. Swami gives very no we go through like no let us go through like how it has the Upanishad and Swami's direction. The greatest gift of the parents is the body with all its powers. Although the Lord rules over all lives, it is the parents who have endowed the body to the child. Clay and water are the gifts of nature, but it is the potter who makes the pots out of them. Hence, gratitude to the parents is a primary obligation. A clear direction from Swami. We discussed again in this point in the Taittiriya Upanishad, but this context is very clear. Though the Lord of Yama has given 3 boons, the first boon as a son, as part of his dharma, the reason he came here to the abode of Yama by following his father words, he came to the abode of Yama. So the first boon he asked about the parents only. About his father only he has asked. So Swami is very clearly telling that though I give life to you guys, but you gave life to you all, but it is been endowed in the body to the child by the parents only. And he has given a clear example. It is the potter who makes the pots out of them. So you have to show gratitude to your parents, and it should be your primary obligation. And then only grace of God can cool the heated brain and troubled heart. That grace will come to those who are grateful to their parents and render loving servicing to them. So such a this each and every boon, every discussion and the direction from Swami will give us clarity in the Kathopanishad, what each in a step by step manner. So So, starting from with mother, gratitude should extend to the father and the preceptor. If you show gratitude to these three, you will realize the presence of the the Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara in them, and you will reap the fruit of the worshipping the Trinity. So, a clear direction from Swami is the parents are your first devas and the teacher is the next deva. Activities devoted to the parents by which you express your gratitude and affection, adoration and appreciation are holy yajna. So Swami give very clear message, clear direction to us, and he himself has given promise to Mother Ishwaramma. Though he is the Kali Yuga Avatara, so he is the complete Paramatma who from whom this creation has come. But he has given the promise to the mother Ishwaramma that I will not leave Puttaparthi. And he stayed there. So it's a great promise Swami has given to his mother, and he stood for that he gave that commitment to mother, and he gave that promise. He stood, he is there only that Puttaparthi. He gave the very much promise to mother, and he stood as an example, though he is the Paramatma. So this every step in Kathopanishad, uh, Swami gives these, whatever the lines which we have here is from the Kathopanishad book and verses. At the same time, Swami is giving a clear direction, and also he stood as an example for that each direction. This is how the firstborn about the parents and the father, and the secondborn Nachiketa, okay, Yama Dharmaraj granted that boon. Yes, he has told that yes, your father will receive you. You will enjoy his presence, and then you will be and he is also will be peaceful. He will be peaceful with you, and you both cherish well. This is what he gives that boon. The second boon, what Nachiketa asks. The second desire was to know the secret of the absence in heaven of hunger, thirst, and fear of death. I'll read the 12 and 13 mantras. Rachiketa said, in heaven there is no fear. You are not there. The Lord Yama is not there. Nor there do they in old and age fear. Having crossed both hunger and thirst, one in heaven rejoice being above grief. O death, thou knowest of the fire which leads to heaven. Explain to me who am I jealous that by which those whose world is heaven attain immortality. I pray for this by my second boon. So he want to know what is the secrecy basically behind this hunger of there is no hunger, thirst, and fear of death. And he wants to know what is that yajna. If I follow, I can reach the heaven. Now, what is heaven? Why he is asking for the heaven? Swami explains what is heaven. In Sri Satya Sai Vahini, chapter 8, in the bondage, and also on 25th December 1994, Swami's discourse. Swami is very clearly telling that what is heaven. It is the broadening of the heart so that it is filled with all embracing love. Only then the sense of spiritual oneness of all mankind can be experienced. Out of that, sense of unity will be born will be born the love of God. This love will generate pure bliss in the heart that is boundless, indescribable, and everlasting. Foster love in your hearts and redeem your lives. Men aspire for liberation. True liberation means freedom from desires. Swami very clearly telling that heaven, it is broadening of the heart so that it is filled with all embracing love. Remember in the Sandeha Nivarani, Swami talks about where is manas, where is ego, where is uh, intellect, where is chitta. So in those four, in that particular line, Swami very clearly tells manas in the Kopola, and intellect is on your tongue. Third one is very clearly the ego is in your heart, and the chitta is in your stomach. Swami very clearly told, if you foster all embracing, I mean, if you manifest love in your heart, and if you get a complete and you get a complete sense of spiritual oneness of all mankind, and you are getting a complete love, filling your heart with complete love, there is no chance of ego. Though ego starts in the stay in the heart, what Swami has told, if you manifest the love, you make sure that the whole this heart is filled with all embracing love, sense of spiritual oneness, and equanimity. Basically, the equanimity is the all mankind can be experienced. What oneness of all mankind can be experienced. So whenever you connect with the worldly things, if we basically connect to the worldly things, if we reflect the worldly thing in our heart, basically if we take that into the heart, then only this discrimination, basically then only the differences, we will start finding the differences. If we don't give basically the importance to the worldly things, if you keep Swami in that and Swami stays in the heart, complete that, filled with love, then there is no chance of differentiating the people in the name of in all the in the name of social evils, whether it is can be a money, it can be a religion, it can be a region, it can be a religion, uh, anything. So all that social evils will not come. We experience the equanimity with the integration of Swami. So if we are experiencing that blissful love, that blissful state, if we are fostering love in our hearts, and then this true liberation will come from that freedom of desires. What Swami is telling very clearly, with that love, if we are continuous integration is there, that state is your heaven. Swami again elaborated saying that when the individual soul is as a god in the heaven, it cannot manifest any karma. Only humanity can express itself through action. So now you are in a state of, you are in Atmic state. When you are in the Atmic state, you are not doing any karma. You are in the blissful state. You are in Satchit Ananda state. So you are not doing any karma. You are in that particular, that supreme blissfulness. When you are in that state, you will not do any action basically. When you do the action, when you are in humanity, when you are doing your daily activities part, then you will be doing tend to the action. That action lead to the bondage. So Swami giving the clarity, if that soul is in the blissful state, that is heaven. If it is, whether it is a liberation or it is a kaivalya, it is in the blissful state and it is in the Paramatma, and it is that soul is in the Satchit Ananda. So it is not going to do any karma, so that it is not getting any bondage. So the whoever leaves the body, the one who desire to, one who uh, deserved to take that liberation at whatever the time of span, whatever the span of time is there in the heaven, means it is in the blissful state. That Atma is in blissful state. It is not committing to any action. So Swami very clearly is saying that when the soul is in the heaven as a God, it is content and satisfied. So it will not crave activity for earning pleasure or achieving some success. So for us, we all very clearly, we know that we will be having one activity yesterday. Yesterday, I supposed to complete one activity, but that action, uh, because of one activity I have completed, that action I have completed. Because of that action completed, the finance team is asking more, details, because I have to complete that action, need to submit to the finance team. I have submitted to finance team. Today, finance team is asking some more, clarification related to that action, which means I am continuing that created one bondage, saying that finance team has to connect with me and ensure that whether all that revenue margins and whatever the details which are as part of my daily activities I have done related to that, their activity is depend upon me, so they have a bondage with me. I'm continuing the activity again. In the humanity, it is happening that, but whereas in Atmic state, you will be in the Satchit Ananda, blissful state. There won't be any action, no bondage. Swami giving that clarity about heaven. So it's an answer about why you will not have basically the hunger and also the fear of death and thirst. You are in blissful Satchit Ananda state. And then Yamadharma Raja is very much happy the way how the the questions are coming from Nachiketa. And he also asked what is the process, what is the yajna that I have to do to reach heaven. Yamadharma Raja will explain the process of that yajna. He will tell, I will tell you one yajna. You please follow these steps and you learn this. Then if you do at least 3 times in your life, then definitely you will be reaching heaven. By saying this, he will he will he will teach about that particular yajna to Nachiketa. It is not explained, but one word is there very clearly. Whoever is the sadhaka, whoever is having a goal to merge in Swami and doing that activities, doing that sadhana. See, every time sadhana is coming, that is the reason the Swami poem also. See, the sadhana, whoever is doing the practice, whoever is trying to experiencing Swami, doing that sadhana, that particular sadhaka will understand this yajna. During his sadhana himself, he can understand the how to do that yajna. So he has not explained in the Upanishad how it has to be done, what kind of mantras has to be chanted. But he told this word saying that the sadhaka can understand during his sadhana. It automatically comes. So whatever the yajna I am teaching you, that sadhaka also can understand during his sadhana. That's what he told to Nachiketa. And then Nachiketa will understand this yajna process and he will give the reverse KT. I mean, how to do this yajna, he will again will tell to Yama uh, without any mistakes. Completely, he eventually grasped the details and ritual quickly and clearly. And then he will also tell, basically to Emma saying that how it has to be done. Again, he will tell the same thing. And Yama Dharmaraj will be very happy with his, delighted with his Shraddha. A new disciple who came immediately understood this. Again, he gave the, no, he told about the same process without any mistakes. By looking at his Shraddha, he will tell that whatever the sacrifice, whatever the yajna and the he has told to reach heaven, that yajna has been going, no, going forward. It will be named as Nachiketa Agni. Swami Nachiketa Agni, that is being called Nachiketa Agni. So Swami explained in the discourse of 23rd November. See, this is 23rd November 2002. Explain again. Swami explains this basically about Kathopanishad on his birthday, 2002. Shraddha is very important because Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. With sincerity, wisdom is one. So Swami again telling that as he told in the form of Krishna, one with Shraddha can attain me. I am the very embodiment of Shraddha. So the sincerity, whoever the sincerely he to attain the wisdom, uh, to merge with Swami, whoever do that with so much of sincerity, that sincerity itself is, I am the very much embodiment of that Shraddha. Swami again told that lack of Shraddha is Marakam. Lack of Shraddha creates the bondage. Wisdom attained through Shraddha is Tarakam. This word Tarakam I heard again once again, well, people who is practicing the harmonium, there is one word called Tarakam, which is the higher note, I think so. Correct me wrong in the discussion time. So the Tarakam is the highest form. So wisdom attained through Shraddha is the highest, the liberation. Swami gives so much importance to Shraddha. When we are going through the sadhana, we have to give so much of sincerity to the practice. To practice that, and then with so much of Shraddha we have to do, because I am the embodiment of Shraddha. That is what Swami has told. And Swami has also given the reference of Kathopanishad, saying that hence Yama delighted with the earnestness of the Nachiketa and named as Nachiketa Agni. So whoever is have a goal objective of merging with God and doing the sadhana, he can understand what is that the objective to reach heaven, and he can understand what process has to be followed, what sacrifice has to be done. And if he do that sacrifice for 3 times in that his life, he is good to reach heaven. and that process is called Nachiketa Agni. Sairam. We will start a discussion about third boon. I thought I can cover this today. Uh, Sairam. We will start with the third boon from the next session about what Swami told about death and how, and then what is Atma, Atma Tattva, Anoraniyam, Mahato Mahiyam, all that. The section 2 of the chapter 1 and chapter 2, we will go through it. But one word I want to tell: death should arouse no fear. It should not be regarded as inauspicious. Very clear statement from Swami: death should arouse no fear. It should not be regarded as inauspicious. I think Swami want to give that experience. So I'll just give one, I'll take 1 minute and then close this today's session. I went to Chennai this week, from Monday to yesterday night. Yesterday afternoon, until yesterday afternoon, I was there in Chennai. So much of activities, so many activities are there at office, very much occupied with various activities. But still, I want to meet one of my Sai family he came from America, a senior devotee of Swami. He came, he lives in Adayar. So his father has passed away. His father merged in Swami. I came to know because I just sent a message to him saying that for one of the reference required some project. So he said that he is in Chennai because his father merged in Swami. I said, brother, I will come and then meet you. So out of all this busy schedule, yesterday I went to their home before going to airport. I went to their home. The moment I got enter into the home, I've not told them, but I was discussing with them at that time. Complete vibhuti smell is there. I was very much experiencing the vibhuti smell, like as if the vibhuti packing is going on. After a normal all discussions about Swami activities and all those things in the Washington DC, and then while leaving, I took the blessings from Amma, and then while I'm talking to brother, I told him that, brother, I am having this complete vibhuti, completely vibhuti smell, as if I am in that vibhuti packing room. Then they said they don't have that any feeler. I came down along with him before to pay, to catch up the cab. I just went down from the apartment, and then on the apartment road also I'm standing. There also I'm getting so much of that the experience, like then the cab guy has come. Then brother has told Swami came here and he walked on this whatever where the place I stand. So he said he walked here. He went to Ramani's home and he left. That's what I'll say. So much of good experience. And I took the cab after I crossed the Adayar signals while going to the airport. Adayar signal I'm crossing. I lost that all smell and everything. It's like it's normal, quite normal. While I'm making bold of this particular statement, death should arouse no fear. Particularly this statement, it should not be regarded as inauspicious. That I felt that it is auspicious because his father from 1965 he's with Swami, and he had so much of experience with Swami. I think he lived uh, in the present, I think, with so much of integrity with the Swami. I experienced that in that home. Saira. Thank you very much for joining the Sudhamrita session. Now we will go ahead with the discussion. Thank you, Swami. Sairam, brothers and sisters, shall we start our discussion? Any questions or clarifications required? We will go ahead with the third one in the next session. Sairam, sir, we will go ahead uh, with this sequence of like Sairam, Sister Aarti. Any questions or any inputs for this Kathopanishad, please?
Sairam,
Sairam sir.
Uh, we will discuss the Aarti Pradhan, Aarti sister are there. So we'll go with Aarti sisters. Saira.
Sairam sir. Sir, I have one doubt here. Like detachment, as you said, bondage, or if we are blissful, there is no action and no karma, bondage will be there. So whenever we do any work, how will save ourselves from detachment? Because detachment is very difficult and
Sairam. Uh, Swami very clearly explained in many discourses when you keep Swami there in that activity and we don't have
yes.
any expectations on the result and we do the action, then you will be releasing from that bondage of that action.
So we should not attach with the name also, like we attach with the Krishna, Shiva, Swami. So I have this question, like we are attached to even our parents also. So how we can remove this detach? I mean, how we can detach from this?
Sairam, the first statement, whatever we discussed, right? So the attachment and
Hmm.
detachment. When we the attachment will come when we focus that action as I am doing, and
All
then
right.
I'm looking forward for the result. Then the
Yes.
bondage will be there.
Yes.
When the doer is doing, when I am the witness of that particular activity, and also though I am doing that activity through me, the doer is doing. And then if we are not having any expectations, we don't have any expectations on the result of that action, and
Hmm.
doing that just action in the presence of Swami, then
Hmm.
that connect there won't be bondage. That fruit, that particular action results, that doer will be taking care of it.
All right. Thank you, sir. I understood. Thank you so much. Sairam, sir.
Sairam, 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 Sairam. Sairam, Sister Aarti.
Sairam, brother. So I have a question. So we have lot of shraddha for God, but sometimes, right, we doubt that, right? Um, how to overcome that, and also Sister Deepika asked, and we I understood that that was also a query from my side. Uh, but this we do lot of shraddha, but sometime doubt comes, right? Whether I'm doing correct way or not. So how to overcome those questions in mind?
What I understood, Sister, when you love Swami, like what I can say is even usually you will have some kind of, uh, let me take from as an example what I might be having. I love myself basically. Uh, previous when it is everyone have the same kind of I love myself very much out of all, though I share my love with parents, I share my love with my dependents who can be wife, kids. I can share, I might be sharing with the lovers, but out of all I give more importance to myself, more love with myself, thinking that in that way. Just I'm taking an example. If I love more than me, if I love my Swami more than me, the moment I think of my Saguna Swarupa of Swami, the moment I think of Swami, if I am getting, my heart is bleeding with love, so much of connect is there with Swami, and loving more than myself, then there won't be any chance of doubt in that, or doubts, or that in that love, there is no question of no, nothing will enter here.
Mhm.
And when we do that practice, when we do continue our sadhana, and he himself will be keep giving the experiences, he himself will be telling us, I mean, he'll be giving that experience that we are the, he is the complete, he is the Paramatma.
Mm.
So there is no point of questions or doubts, nothing will come.
Mm.
This is what my understanding, my experience. I, because this just I'm sharing my experiences, Saira.
Sairam, brother. Thank you.
Sairam. Sairam Amarnath sir. Any
Beautiful
inputs?
start, Mahendra. Beautiful start. Thank you. See, it was very
Sairam.
interesting indeed. I just, you talked about yagna earlier. I just have an add-on to this lovely concept.
Sairam,
You see,
please.
uh, the second boon, which Yama, the Yamadharmaraya gives to Nachiket regarding the sacred fire ritual. You see, most of us tend to misunderstand the concept of rituals and yagnas. So these are, of course, described in detail in Brahmanas and Aranyaka portion of the Vedas and only summarized in the Upanishads. For example, the concept of sacred fire sacrifice to reach heaven. This was revealed by Yamadharmaraya to Nachiketa as a second boon. Now, what is the inner significance? Spiritual significance. Spiritual means spirit plus ritual is spiritual. The spirit behind the yagna is important. See, there's a very humorous story on in Chinnakathas told by Swami, what I wanted to share with you. A sage in the olden days used to perform yagna in his hermitage and was, while doing every time, there was a cat, he used to have a cat which used to come and eat up the milk and butter placed in the yagna. So what the sage used to do was to catch hold of the cat, put it in the basket inverted, sit on the basket and continue with the Vegna. The people and his disciples around were watching it. Now years passed by, the elderly sage passed away, the cat also passed away. Now the disciples of the sage who would continue the Yagna used to go to the neighboring village, catch hold of a cat, bring it to the
Okay.
hermitage, put it under the basket, sit on the basket and do the Yagna as their master used to do. So, did you get the point? Swami says this is what happens when we do a ritual,
Ritual.
forgetting the spirit behind the ritual. It is no longer spiritual. See here, Yama describes sacred fire ritual. What does the fire do? The fire is meant to burn up our weaknesses, the shadripos, which when we do the offering in sacrifice, thinking of Swami, we pray we pray, saying, burn up this sacrifice of mine. Once it is burnt, we are eligible to receive the blessings. So, actually, there are three steps in the fire sacrifice. One is to invoke, second is sacrifice the weakness, and third, the real blessings of good, universal peace, happiness, wisdom, and true knowledge. This, when we do daily with Shraddha, as you mentioned, is the inner purification and we attain the bliss or heaven which is within us. This is just an add on to what is beautifully described. Mahendra, this is
Beautiful,
all I
sir.
want to say.
Beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you,
Saira.
thank you. Thank you, Amarnath sir. Thank you very much. Sairam. Thank you, sir. Sairam. Sairam, sister Bharati. You have any inputs or questions? Sairam. Sairam, sister Deepika. You have any questions or inputs for this session? Sairam. Sairam Gopal, sir. Have
Yes,
any
sir.
inputs, sir? Sairam, sir.
Not much, sir, because I could not hear in between. But anyway,
Oh,
while going through, I just you were referring about that Tarakam, Tarakam and
Sairam.
uh,
Yes, sir.
Tarakam and Marakam. Is it not?
Marakam.
Yeah, actually, so here the meaning of Tarakam is liberation and Marakam is bondage. Is it not?
Correct, correct.
But you were also referring to that harmonium, this thing. I
Yeah.
just wanted to say that in harmony we have what is known as Mantarasthai and Tarakasthai.
Okay.
Tarakasthai we have. Mantarasthai. Mantarasthai means lower octave and Tarakasthai means higher octave.
Okay.
So exactly we don't use the word Tarakam but Tarakasthai in harmonium.
The highest
So
part.
since you referred it, I thought I will just
Sairam.
mention about it. Sairam.
Sairam. Thank you, sir. Sairam. Sairam Chandrasekhar Gaud, sir. Thank you, Gopal, sir. Sir Gaud, sir.
Sairam Mahendra. Sairam Mahendra.
Sairam, sir.
Today's talk, the story of three fishes, nicely explained. And this, I think, first time we are hearing about the significance of this three stories, the story of three fishes. Until now, it was only about the what you call thinking process and then taking what you call precautions like that. We were thinking, nicely explained. And what the sisters have asked, the a little elongation to the discussion. I think eschewing the what you call thinking of I-ness and doership goes a long way. It should be a practice from the beginning, or anytime one can begin and then practice. That goes a long way, and then in the spiritual practice of anyone, and that one can reduce attachment automatically if one thinks that way. Sairam.
Sairam. Sairam, sir. Thank you, sir. Sairam. Sairam Ramchandra, sir. Inputs, please, sir. I will share my screen. Ramchandra sir has sent one slide. Just want to give the input on this, Sairam.
Thank you, Mahendra. We have covered everything. As our Amarnath says, add on to this thing is the first boon. Why Nachiketa asked Yama to send him to his father? That is the question. It is very well explained in Upanishad Manjari. What happens in a ritual is there, no? You go to Prashant in Liam. I have shown that picture. There, one Yajima sacrificer and his wife is standing there. Then, Yajna will be fulfilled when this sacrificer and other four priests are jointly do the things with Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema. That is called the Adhikari, entitledness. So win-win basis. Our object is to get the fruit of that yajna. For that one, personally, it will not go. So now, the sacrificer, he has to tell the truth. Always he has to win truth. Whether knowingly, unknowingly, he has to do the truth. Same thing, host priest. Host priest is, he chants Rigveda. Adhvaryu priest, he will chant Yajurveda and do the Homa. And Udgatra, he sings Samaveda. And Brahma priest will be there. Previously, when Swami was sitting in his chair as Brahma, he is to be witness for everything. Any wrong thing occurs, it goes to the effect of Brahma only. Okay, on that basis, there should be a Satya, there should be a Dharma, there should be a Shanti, Prema, and Ahimsa. These 5 things has to be followed by these people. Now, why? Ajijita asked Yama to go to his father. Father, unknowingly, he has blasted him, and then I will put it to Yama. Even then, that will become truth. Because of that only, Nachiketa came. Because he in that role, sacrificer. If I don't go to his father now, father will think that because of me, I have myself has given my son to arrogance, and then because of the angriness, I did like that. So because of this yajna only, all these things happening, I will leave all these things. When I given my son itself to Yama, so what for this yajna is there, I will not do. Like that, it goes like at the ultimate level, people will go sometimes. Even though they are Brahmajnani, it will be like this. On that basis, what Nachiketa, at least if I go, he will not become a karma prashta. He will continue his yajna. On that sake, you send me to him, my father, for anything like that, for nothing else. Then Yama could understand what is the jnana of this Nachiketa. Then he starts telling about second boon and everything. Okay, that is the reason why that. So Swami says here in that Prashanti Vahini, meditation on unity of these 3 provides support to sacrificer for the things. So like that, even meditation of this also will do. That yajna you need not do for there. So you must have in your mind, you do that, you will get the result. That's what Swami says. Jai Sri Sai.
Sairam, Sairam. Thank you, Ramachandra sir, for adding all these inputs. Thank you, sir. Sairam, Sister Saralama, can you please provide your inputs if you have any questions or inputs?
Sairam Mahindra sir, it is a very good session. And just now what Ramchandra sir explained about Nachiketa returning, I never knew this aspect, this angle in asking him for his return to his father. Very enlightening session. Thank you, Mahindra sir.
Sairam, Sairam. Sairam, sir. Sairam Sridhar, sir. Please provide your input, sir.
Sairam Mahendra. A great start to this Upanishad. I will just recall a few small take home for me. You explained the very concept of what yajna is, what it means to sacrifice, what it means to give gifts. Yajna, it's a continuous process dedicated to God, which in itself contains 3 parts: yajna, dana, and tapas. And you said it's an unconditional surrender to God. God pacified in these rituals will grant you the boons, whatever. And that Shraddha also he had explained in the course of the presentation. What I liked, one of the most important things you said is focused study of Vahini is also an example, the upasana of doing Vahini Swadhyayas as part of our daily activities. You get into continuous integration with Swami. So, as this little boy, Nachiketa, goes to his father and says to just alert him about what he is doing, and this guy does not listen, the dad, father. So, on continuous persistence, this man, out of anger, says, I will offer you to the Lord of Death. Uh, Anything which is said in the yajna, in the course, also has its impact. But then you also brought in the concept of anger management here. The very purpose of doing all these spiritual exercises is to control your senses, get mastery over the senses. Instead, something else happened. He lost himself in anger. That is because when we are connected to the worldly, we become judgmental. Our thoughts get stored in the chitta, and cleansing of the chitta becomes essential for the sadhaks. You also said a very beautiful aspect. If you do not keep God in all our activities, you are bound to be obsessed by ego, anger, and pride. And you also gave the illustration of the three fishes, the pond being the Deha, and the three fishes representing Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. You also emphasized that you have to regulate and master your senses. You also talked about how you honor the learned during the course of the yajnas by giving away whatever gifts and other things. You also talked about Aditi Devo Bhava. They have to be taken care of. And you also compared the actions of Swami in the early days when he used to see his devotees off. That was really very touching stuff. Atiti means a person who comes on Atiti. Is a very nice expression for a recall. But talking about boons, boy has stayed for 3 days and nights without food and water, and the Atiti has to be honored. Instead, Yama realizes that he has kept this boy waiting. So, as a compensation, these boons are being awarded, is what I understand. And as the part of the discussing about first boons, going back to my parents, going back to my father, yeah, it has got a lot of spiritual significance, as Ramchandra sir beautifully explained. He also said that the body is given by the parents, like the potter gives the pot. It's the air and water is gifted by God, the nature, but body is given by the parents. And you need to have your gratitude for that. The gratitude, adoration, appreciation are part of the holy yajna in an everyday context. There you reminded us about Swami's promise to his mother and how he stayed in Puttaparthi and did all that he promised for his mother. That he would give education, health, and social care to the society there. It was a beautiful recall, so to say. We were talking about the second boon to know the secrets of the absence of hunger, thirst, and fear of death. A lot of discussions have taken place. What is heaven, and how do you uh, the summary of it is the heaven and the joy and the bliss is everything inside you. Your body itself is a yajna kunda, and the sacrifices you do is to purify and reach the inner Atma, inner self in you, uh, is what I can pick up from what you have said. Uh, that is why you said sadhaka can understand during the sadhana if it is done uh, with a sense of sacrifice, with a sense of earnestness, shraddha, well taken. Very interesting concepts about tarakam and marakam. You closed with the death is not inauspicious and it should not arise any fear in the minds of people. And that can be understood well only when the spiritual significance is understood. So we are looking forward to the third bone to be discussed in the next session. Thank you for the lovely presentation. Sairam.
Sairam. Thank you very much, sir, Saridhar sir, for recalling the major part of the session. Sairam. Sairam. uh, we are while starting, we discussed about the Vachyartha and Gudhartha. I think in the third session we can go ahead with the Gudhartha. If second session we can cover complete major part of the Kathopanishad. The reason I'm saying, as Swami always says, you are the God. I am God and you are also God. If I am the God, I have to experience my divinity, my conscience, my consciousness, my super consciousness, how it relates to Gautama, Nachiketa, and Yama. I have some understanding. We'll share, and you can correct me in the third session about this conscience, consciousness, and super consciousness, treating me as Gautama, treating me as Nachiketa, treating me as Yamadharmaraja. Saira. We will go a better discussion in the next, with Swami's blessings in the next sessions. Saira. Saira, we will conclude the session with Asatoma, Samastaloka, and Srikarta Swami. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti 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 समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। साई राम, साई राम। थैंक यू।
Sairam.
Thank you, Mahesh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
साई राम, साई राम।